Sometimes, secrets are like spider webs, hidden until you walk right into them. The air in Funk's mansion felt thick with tension the next day, and I knew it wasn't my imagination. Something had shifted. Funk's friends, Adeabi and Sod, had stirred up something inside me, a feeling I couldn't shake. They were also polished on the surface, but beneath, they were tangled in a web I was only starting to understand. I just needed to find the right threads to pull. Funk had an event in Ikoyi that night, and I was to go along to assist. My stomach tightened at the thought. Following her around was part of my plan, but every encounter felt like one wrong move could expose me. As we prepared to leave, Funk handed me her silk scarf to drape over her shoulders, adjusting her gold watch, a chunky piece that glinted with every movement. She wore a dark red gown, fitted and elegant, with a thin gold bracelet on her wrist that matched her earrings. She looked like royalty, and in a way, she was. These women ran their own kingdom. We arrived at a sleek venue in Ikoyi, a hidden space that was more private than public. There were no signs, just a doorman who knew who to let inside. It was one of those exclusive spots, where the powerful gathered to drink and talk about the things that the public never saw. Inside, the lighting was low, with soft music playing in the background. People clustered in groups, some laughing quietly, others deep in conversation. It was a world away from the bustling streets of Lagos, a place where people could let their guards down, though I had no intention of doing so. Funk led me to a small group where Adeabi and Sod were already waiting. Adeabi wore a slim, emerald dress with silver bangles around her wrist that clicked as she moved. Her lips were painted a striking red, her gaze as sharp as ever. Sod was more subdued in a pale gold dress, her fingers resting lightly on a delicate silver watch. They looked at Funk with approving nods, and for a brief moment, they glanced my way, just long enough to remind me of my place in their world. They turned back to each other, their voices dropping as their conversation turned serious. I pretended not to listen, busying myself with a tray of drinks nearby. But every word reached me, clear as day. Adeabi spoke first, her tone low but certain. Funk, if things keep going this way, we might have to make some arrangements. The auditors aren't as quiet as they used to be. Funk waved a dismissive hand, her voice calm. Let them try. By the time they realize what's happening, we'll be long gone. She smiled, a thin line across her face, a smile without warmth. I felt a chill run down my spine. They were talking so freely, as if everyone around them was either too loyal or too scared to betray their secrets. Or maybe, like me, they were just pretending not to listen. Then Sod spoke, her voice softer but somehow even more chilling. The last batch went off without a hitch. We're making arrangements to move more, maybe even expand. With the elections coming, no one will be watching. The words sank in, twisting in my mind. Batch could mean many things, but with Sod, I had no doubt it was about her trafficking operation. I felt sick, but I couldn't afford to react. Every instinct told me to look away, but my mind was racing, storing every word. My fingers tightened around the tray as I steadied myself, reminding myself why I was here. Femi was gone, and these women knew things that could lead me to the truth. But the more I uncovered, the deeper I seemed to fall. Just then, Depo appeared beside me, his presence as unexpected as it was unsettling. He wore a casual, dark button-up shirt, with a simple black watch on his wrist. He didn't look at me directly but leaned in just enough for his words to reach my ear. You shouldn't be here, he said softly, his tone filled with the same warning as before. They are not who they pretend to be. I kept my face neutral, whispering back, neither am I. He stiffened slightly, his gaze flicking to his mother and her friends. Just be careful, he murmured, before slipping away as quickly as he'd come. I watched him leave, my mind swirling with questions. Depo knew something, But whether he was a threat or an ally, I couldn't yet tell. He was close to the fire but not burned by it, not yet. But I couldn't let his warning slow me down. I was here to find answers, and I would get them, no matter the cost. As Funk, Adeabi, and Sod laughed and clinked their glasses together, I felt the weight of their secrets pressing down on me. They were far more dangerous than I'd anticipated, but that only fueled my resolve. I looked at Funk, Adeabi, and Sod, my heart pounding. I was getting closer, but at what risk? Just then, a text notification vibrated in my pocket. It was an unknown number, and the message was short: "They know you're watching."